Breaking. Trump just roasted Russia's Navy. They just watched us take their tanker. Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell because things are getting wild right now in January 2026. Just hours ago, President Trump dropped an absolute savage burn on Russia's entire navy, mocking their warships and submarine that were literally right there and did nothing while U.S. Special Forces boarded and seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker in the North Atlantic. This is next-level humiliation, guys. Let me break it all down for you step by step with the latest updates. So, rewind a little. Yesterday, we had the massive story of U.S. Coast Guard and Special Ops seizing not one, not two, but three tankers linked to Russia's shadow fleet, the Marinera, flying the Russian flag, the Atlas, and the Nordic Star. All of them were carrying, or suspected of carrying, sanctioned Venezuelan and Iranian oil. The crown jewel of the operation was the Marinera. It had been re-registered under the Russian port of Sochi. The crew literally painted a giant Russian tricolor on the side, like it was some kind of shield. Russia even sent an escort, surface warships, and a submarine, most likely a Varshavyanka-class diesel-electric boat, to protect it. And guess what? They did absolutely nothing. American helicopters, MH-60s and MH-6 Littlebirds, flew right in, fast-roped SEALs or Delta operators onto the deck in the middle of the foggy North Atlantic, took control without a single shot fired. The Russian Navy was within visual and sonar range. Reports say the sub was tracked less than 100 miles away, and they just stared, like watched. No radio warnings, no maneuvers, no warning shots, zero. Today, President Trump went full savage mode during a quick press gaggle outside the White House. He straight up laughed and said, "Look, they had their big fancy submarine and their little boats right there, and they did nothing. They just sat there like they were watching Netflix. We took their tanker, we took their flag, we took their oil, and their navy, they just waved goodbye." Very sad, very weak, pathetic, really. That's what happens when you mess with America first. The room erupted. Reporters were cracking up. Trump doubled down. I guess their unmatched submarines are only good for parades, not for actually protecting anything. Fafo, folks. Fuck around and find out. This clip is already going mega viral. Over 15 million views in the first few hours on Truth Social, X, TikTok, everywhere. Memes are everywhere. Russian sub with popcorn, watching the boarding, Putin face-palming, captions like, "Russia's Navy, professional observers since 2026. And the reactions? Oh man. In Russia, total meltdown. State TV is screaming piracy and provocation, but even pro-Kremlin accounts are quietly embarrassed. Why didn't they do anything? Z-gloggers are furious at their own navy. We have the best submarines in the world, apparently just for looking. In Ukraine, pure joy. Zelensky posted a laughing emoji and one line, "Thanks for the masterclass, America." Western media is eating it up. CNN, Trump mocks Russia's paper tiger navy. Fox, America shows dominance. Russia backs down again. This is coming right after the Venezuela op, where we snatched Maduro in under an hour, and now the tanker seizures. The message is crystal clear. America's back in charge, and if you try to hide behind a Russian flag or a submarine, it won't save you. Guys, 2026 is only 9 days old, and it's already insane. Trump's foreign policy is pure chaos energy, and right now, it's working. Russia looks weaker than ever. Their red lines are just chalk on the sidewalk. What do you think? Is this the biggest humiliation for Putin's navy yet? Drop your hottest takes in the comments, smash that like if you're loving the Trump burns, and subscribe plus bell on for instant updates because this story is far from over. More seizures, more roasts, more chaos coming.
Let's get right into it with the latest details. Yesterday, January 8, 2026, U.S. Special Forces and the Coast Guard pulled off one of the boldest high seas operations in years. They seized the Marinera, formerly Bella 1, a tanker flying the Russian flag in the North Atlantic between Iceland and Scotland. This wasn't some random ship. Russia had gone all out to protect it. The crew painted a massive Russian tricolor on the hull, re-registered it under the port of Sochi, and Moscow even dispatched serious naval escorts, at least one Varshavyanka-class diesel-electric submarine, the kind they call silent killers, and surface warships. And what happened when the Americans showed up? Zero, zilch, nada. Helicopters, MH-60 Seahawks and MH-6 Littlebirds flew straight in. Fast-roped operators onto the deck in the fog, took full control, no shots fired, no resistance. The Russian Navy was tracking everything. Sonar pings confirmed the sub was within visual and operational range, but they didn't challenge, didn't warn, didn't maneuver to block. They just watched, like spectators at a show. Today, President Trump absolutely torched them in a White House gaggle and on Truth Social. Here's the money quote. They had their big, beautiful submarine, you know, the one they brag about being unmatched and silent, right there in the water. And what did it do? Nothing. They just sat there like they were on a sightseeing tour. We took their tanker, we took their flag, we took their oil, and their navy, they waved goodbye. Very sad, very weak. Pathetic, really. I guess their red lines are just lines in the water. He kept going. I don't want to say it, but the Russian ships, submarine and destroyer, they both left very quickly when we arrived. They decided not to mess around with us. FAFO, folks. They messed around, they found out. The room cracked up. The clip exploded. Tens of millions of views already. Memes are flooding X, TikTok, everywhere. Russian sub with popcorn, Putin face-palming, Trump golfing while the boarding happens. It's brutal. This ties directly into the bigger picture. After the lightning-fast op to capture Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela just days ago, Trump ordered a full blockade on Venezuelan oil. The Shadow Fleet, hundreds of old tankers dodging sanctions for Russia, Iran, and Venezuela, was the workaround. Now the U.S. is dismantling it piece by piece. The Marinera was the flagship example. Russia literally painted their flag on it to say, "This is ours, don't touch," and the U.S. touched. Hard. Russia is furious. The foreign ministry called it state piracy and banditry. State TV is screaming about escalation, but even some pro-Kremlin voices are embarrassed. Why didn't we intervene? Our submarine just observed? Z channels are raging at their own navy. Ukraine is loving it. Zelensky dropped a laughing emoji and one line, "When your red lines are just lines on water." Western media is piling on. Russia's invincible fleet, more like invisible action. Analysts say Russia backed down because engaging U.S. forces in the North Atlantic would mean instant NATO-Russia war, something Moscow can't afford right now, especially with Ukraine draining resources, so they swallowed the humiliation. Trump's message is loud and clear. America's back in charge. If you try to hide behind a Russian flag, a submarine, or any unmatched tech, it won't save you. The U.S. is enforcing sanctions with muscle, and right now, nobody's stopping it. This is the biggest embarrassment for Putin's Navy in decades, and Trump's turning it into pure meme fuel. 2026 is wild, guys. What do you think? Is this the most savage Trump burn yet? Drop your thoughts below, like if you're here for the chaos, subscribe for instant updates, because this saga is far from over. More seizures, more roasts, more global